As our viewers know, Medieval to Modern is fascinated by the extraordinary life of Hildegard of Bingen. We feel she has not received the high regard today this medieval saint deserves. Among her most highly treasured gifts to us all includes a collection of beautiful sacred music developed over 8 centuries ago. What is remarkable about her compositions is that Hildegard of Bingen received no formal education in music. Medieval to Modern presents an astonishing theory in this episode. We believe Hildegard of Bingen, a brilliant medieval polymath, used ancient knowledge of Solfeggio frequencies, otherwise known as the holy tones, to benefit her listeners in ways many people today still do not understand. This includes healing both the conscious and subconscious mind through the sacred and scientific power for music. Please note that we are not academics or professional researchers. Medieval to Modern only wishes to explore a unique possibility that Saint Hildegard used sacred knowledge through music to heal us spiritually, mentally, and even physically. Now, welcome to Hildegard of Bingen in the Holy Tones. A brief introduction to Hildegard of Bingen. During her remarkable life, Hildegard of Bingen, a genius polymath, was in regular contact with kings, queens, and high authorities within the church. Hildegard of Bingen's gifts were so well regarded that even Thomas Becket and King Henry II exchanged letters with her. This acclaimed writer, musical composer, and medical practitioner was born in the county of Sponheim, modern-day Germany, during the year 1098 AD. She was sickly from birth, though her childhood soon revealed an extraordinary gift. Even then, Hildegard of Bingen possessed a power which she called a fiery light of exceeding brilliance, the shade of the living light. Over the course of her extraordinary life, she performed many miracles and founded 2 monasteries. Her many miracles and accuracy of vision in medieval times made her command a rare degree of respect for a woman's knowledge. 20 of these miracles were recorded by her biographer Theodoric, a Benedictine monk, based on previous memoirs from another monk. Hildegard of Bingen, who displayed many talents during her fascinating existence, including her famous musical compositions, passed away on September 17, 1179. Today, a growing number of people are rediscovering the achievements of this captivating abbess. Saint Hildegard of Bingen was formally canonized in 2012 by Pope Benedict XVI and given the honor Doctor of the Church. In history, only 4 women have received this high honor. Saint Hildegard and the power of her sacred music. This mystic 12th century abbess did have messages for future humanity, as evidenced by 2 previous episodes we featured concerning the end of times and the coming of the Antichrist prophecies. Hildegard of Bingen said she received her visions through the living light. It went through all her senses, even to the point of feeling the light itself. Here is her descriptive quote. "The light which I see thus is not spatial, but it is far, far brighter than a cloud which carries the sun. I can measure neither height, nor length, nor breadth in it, and I call it the reflection of the living light. And as the sun, the moon, and the stars appear in water, so writings, sermons, virtues, and certain human actions take form for me and gleam." Through her remarkable works like Scivias, we can read of her high visions received through clairvoyance and clairaudience. It is vital to note she states receiving her sacred music through this living light as well. In a letter dating from 1153 AD to Pope Anastasius, Hildegard states she miraculously received an alphabet not known by others and much harmonious music. Hildegard of Bingen describes receiving her music through sounds to her inner ear. Various researchers have noted that since she received this information through the visions of her living light, people can be overwhelmed by the high vibrations contained within her compositions. These songs were expressed as secular verse, sacred polyphony, chants, and hymns. There are clear indications that Hildegard of Bingen recognized music as a sacred connection between heaven and earth. Harmony to the saint provided balance between physical body and soul, as well as a harmony between humans and the universe. She believed music was the highest form of prayer and connected her directly with the divine. Hildegard of Bingen was a spiritual healer with a practical knowledge of medicine. As a musical composer, this Benedictine superior heard a great number of Gregorian chants and music of Benedictine monks. This major influence formed the basis for her own 77 songs of sacred Gregorian chants, though unlike their traditional style, she infused vibrant verses for pleasing effects like antiphons and sequences. Her music is referred to as monophonic, meaning it only has one melodic line. Soaring melodies that can go beyond the more restrained tones of traditional Gregorian chant define her musical style. The vocal extremes are an attempt to portray the celestial influences which she states to have received her music from. Hildegard of Bingen recorded her divine communications in the form they were presented to her. This included musical inspirations, which she interpreted as just one of the many ways she received messages from the divine. She believed music as crucial to the living experience of human beings, the ultimate form of communication, and that humans needed it to aid in their healing processes. In fact, Saint Hildegard and her nuns would sing the divine office 8 times during the course of a day. This was part of a strict routine of chants and prayers which was rigidly followed. It is this close relationship with Benedictine monks and music which indicate Hildegard of Bingen had access to sacred ancient information when composing her music. Benedictine monks knew the reputed power of the holy tones, which are formerly known as Solfeggio frequencies or Solfeggio scale. In addition to her personal knowledge and experiences, her access to the information of Solfeggio frequencies would give her great affirmation in her high beliefs on the power of her music. This also gives credence to the reason she referred to her music as sacred sound through which all creation resounds. Even 1 year prior to her death, in a letter to the prelates of Mainz, she states, "The soul is symphonic," indicating her awareness as a Benedictine abbess of the connection between sound frequencies and healing. So, what are these Solfeggio frequencies, which were sacred knowledge the Benedictine monks possessed? The Solfeggio frequencies, holy tones, healing, and Benedictine monks. Music has been used as a therapeutic aid going back thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians have noted musical incantations helped heal the sick and infirm. In ancient Greece, flutes and lyres were used for healing patients, and its positive effects were also noted by Aristotle. Ancient societies have long had specific sacred music which was used for various forms of traditional healing. The vibrations from their instruments, chants, and songs were said to help digestion, sleep, and mental health issues. Musical composers for hundreds of years have known that sound has an effect on the mind, body, and human behavior. During the 11th century, Benedictine monk and music theorist Guido of Arezzo is given attribution for making a key innovation in teaching music. His notational system named the 6 notes of the hexachord after the first syllable of each line from the Latin composition Hymn to St. John the Baptist. The words in this hymn were attributed to the Benedictine monk Paul the Deacon in the 8th century. This produced the scale ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Following his discovery, this scale became associated with the 6 electromagnetic musical tones forming the basis for the Solfeggio frequencies. The Gregorian chants of Benedictine monks, monophonic songs of the Catholic faith, use these 6 frequencies or precise intonations in their musical compositions for centuries. Thus, that hymn is an ancient example of the use of the Solfege scale. The Solfeggio scale later became known as the Solfeggio frequencies. Frequency is the number of repeated vibrations per second, measured as hertz. The human ear can only hear between 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. In comparison, bats can hear sound over 100,000 hertz. Benedictine monks believed these specific ancient tones which they sang produced a positive transformative effect on their physical and spiritual healing. Though did Benedictine monks just happen upon these findings by chance? Here is where an intriguing story becomes absolutely stunning. After the 11th century and until the 16th century, use of the Solfeggio scale became lost, with only speculation for this peculiar disappearance. Some state that other scales were adopted and the Solfege scale abandoned. Another theory is that during the lifetime and after the death of Guido of Arezzo, there was the great conflict between the Eastern Orthodox Church and Western Christian Church, which led to the Great Schism of 1054. This great turmoil would be a possible explanation for the lost information. Now we shall introduce more contentious information in regards to the Solfeggio frequencies. While there is no extensive scientific research or conclusive information to confirm these claims, they are purported from numerous sources over hundreds of years. While critics state these frequencies have no basis in healing or other purported benefits, there are equally strong opinions and observations suggesting some basis for truth in these healing claims. The following continues this fascinating story behind the modern Solfeggio frequencies or the holy tones. In the 1970s, while conducting research, Dr. Joseph Paleo came across information about these 6 original frequencies and their purported benefits for the human body and mind. Thus, the Solfeggio scale was rediscovered by Dr. Joseph Paleo, a naturopathic physician and researcher, and reintroduced for public awareness. Using the Pythagorean mathematical numerical reduction method developed by the famous ancient Greek mathematician Pythagoras, one adds all the digits of a large number together, repeating the process if it is a large digit number until it becomes a single digit. Using this method and applying it to the Old Testament Book of Numbers chapter 7, beginning at verse 12, Dr. Paleo discovered a repeating number pattern with every 6th verse. The results were a match to the original 6 frequencies on the Solfeggio scale of Guido of Arezzo, and he found 3 new frequencies through the same method for the modern Solfeggio scale. Remarkably, each of these frequencies reduces to 3, 6, or 9 through the Pythagorean reduction method. The original 6 frequencies he confirmed from the lost Solfege method of teaching by Guido of Arezzo, and the purported benefits claimed by proponents of the modern Solfeggio scale include 396 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to liberate people from thoughts of guilt, fear, and deep-rooted emotional blockages. Also provides an individual's sense of grounding and empowerment. 417 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to alleviate both our conscious and subconscious mind from negative and traumatic experiences in our past. Also promotes well-being, creativity, and releases one from negative thought patterns. 528 Hz. Tones at this frequency are the most popularly recognized by supporters for their benefits. These include profound transformation on an individual level, providing the mind clarity and peace. Also gives individuals a greater feeling of connectedness to their inner and outer environments. 639 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to improve our relationships and harmony with people around us, which includes new and difficult relationships. Also, it facilitates the ability to focus on reconnecting with ourselves in important relationships in our lives. 741 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to improve our means of creative self-expression, problem-solving, and emotional stability. Also said to improve personal growth by releasing troubles and worries from one's mind. 852 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to improve our connections to the spiritual realm and improve harmony between ourselves and the universe. Also heightens intuition and personal enlightenment. The modern 3 new frequencies found by Dr. Joseph Palaio and their purported benefits later claimed by proponents of the modern Solfeggio scale include 174 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to liberate people from pain and tension while providing relaxation. 285 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to promote safety, enhance survival instinct, and improve one's energy levels. 963 Hz. Tones at this frequency are claimed to heighten spiritual awakening and one's connection to others and the universe as a united whole. Also believed to connect one with higher consciousness, perception, and spiritual transformation. The proposition that the Pythagorean reduction method was used to deduce these claims is intriguing, considering that ancient Greeks were familiar with using music, or in essence vibrations, to heal both physically and mentally. Therefore, there exists the possibility that Pythagoras was experimenting with the concept of healing frequencies in a quest to help society at that time. As for Gregorian chants by Benedictine monks, one must remember they were devoted scholars and studied ancient knowledge extensively. It is plausible they came across studies by contemporaries of Pythagoras, if not his very research. Or they could have studied this purported beneficial knowledge from older or newer ancient societies than Pythagoras-era Greece and applied this scale in their chants. Today, modern research is gaining more knowledge in regards to sound and frequency and how it may benefit our lives. The topic of Solfeggio frequencies is debated and contested by proponents and critics. What does not seem to be subject to such fierce debate is that continuing research into sound and frequency is revealing the noticeable influences they have on our body and mind, which has been known since ancient times. Modern revelations, music as vibration, connection to the divine, Hildegard, holy frequency connection. Everything in our universe is vibration, Albert Einstein. There is the music of heaven in all things, Hildegard of Bingen. All things in our universe exist in a state of vibration. All sounds are caused by vibration of some sort, including music. All these things vibrate at their own frequency, even the smallest atom in our planet Earth. In fact, the Earth has a natural frequency of 7.83 Hz. This is known as Schumann's resonance, discovered in 1952 by German physicist Winifred Otto Schumann, and known as the Earth's heartbeat. We hear vibrations on Earth because at particular frequencies they emit sound. Dr. Herbert Koenig, a successor to Dr. Schumann's work at the University of Munich, did a comparison of human EEG with the Earth's natural electromagnetic fields. This study showed a correlation between brain rhythms and Schumann's resonance. Furthermore, 5 different states of brainwave activity corresponded with Schumann's resonances. This startling discovery concerning a connection between Earth frequency and brainwaves is now under constant and increasing study. Dr. Anker Müller, after reviewing the findings of Dr. Koenig, found that the Earth's frequency was a match for the alpha wave frequency of the human brain. In a noted research study, Professor Rutger Wever of the Max Planck Institute came to a startling conclusion after studying healthy young adults that were deprived of Schumann's resonance frequencies for 4 weeks. When deprived, they began developing mental and physical health issues. When the Schumann frequencies were then introduced, their health stabilized after only brief exposure. This showed an absence of these Schumann frequencies in people's lives caused mental and physical health issues in the human body. In a landmark 1988 study, Dr. Glenn Rain made a discovery which confirmed the effects of ancient sacred music on human bodies. Using the Solfeggio frequency of 528 Hz, which is noted as being used in various sacred music compositions and chants for hundreds of years, he performed a groundbreaking study. He conducted in vitro experiments to see DNA absorption rates of ultraviolet light after stimulation by sound using similar DNA bottles. Playing audible sound waves at 528 Hz from a range of musical genres created resonance in DNA with healing effects. However, the results when comparing the types of music for absorption rates was stunning. Rock music was negative 1.8% and classical music was positive 1.1%, though the ancient Sanskrit mantras were positive 5.8 to 8.26%, while Gregorian chants were positive 5% to 9.1%. To this day, these findings are being extensively studied, though the clear scientific effect on DNA is a significant finding which shows the impact of the 528 Hz Solfeggio frequency on human bodies. Further research after this startling discovery have shown the frequencies of music theory do have a noticeable effect physically, mentally, and emotionally. New research continues to explore the relationship between how different frequencies of sound, measured in hertz, can correlate and stimulate the brain's electromagnetic activity. There are further reasons why many proponents refer to the Solfeggio frequencies as the holy tones. They claim their usage in Gregorian chants and other ancient cultures in their chants is no accident. The Benedictine monks did speak of the spiritual, mental, and physical benefits of their chants. We know the Solfeggio frequencies are contained in this sacred music. Now, with the discovery of Schumann's resonance, it was later discovered that the Solfeggio frequencies are in tune with Schumann's resonance. In other words, the Solfeggio scale is in harmony with the 8 Hz Schumann's resonance. Musically, these Solfeggio frequencies are created by beginning at 8 Hz, which corresponds to the discovery of the Schumann resonance centuries later. Ascending the scale by octave, you come to the C note at a frequency of 256 Hz. The A note vibrates at a frequency of 432 Hz. This method is called scientific tuning, and in the past was the standard frequency for tuning instruments, with many older instruments tuned using this method. Did Hildegard know all this because of her divine revelations? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. The medicine of the future will be frequency medicine. Albert Einstein. Hildegard of Bingen had a strong belief in the powers of music for healing mind, body, and spirit. Centuries later, we are witnessing once again the extraordinary wisdom of this genius polymath, who also possessed practical medical knowledge. Increasing scientific research centuries later is showing the beneficial effects of sound frequencies in these 3 areas, with the Solfeggio frequencies playing an important role. How was she so certain in the 12th century of the power of her sacred music? This could explain why she used Gregorian chants as the basis for her sacred music. If the Solfeggio frequencies did not align with healing benefits, would this saint not have developed a completely different basis for her sacred music? After all, she had the capacity for creating lingua ignota through the direction of her prophetic visions, so she would have done the same direct interpretation if the style of Gregorian chants did not match what was revealed to her. Hildegard of Bingen stated that all her compositions were received from the divine light. This shows she believed in the spiritual and mental benefits of Gregorian chants, which themselves were created using Solfeggio frequencies. Furthermore, the fact that she enhanced these chants with soaring and varied styles points to another fascinating possibility. When receiving this divine knowledge, could Hildegard of Bingen have learned the Solfeggio scale used by Benedictine monks should have contained more holy frequencies? Today, we know the modern Solfeggio scale has 3 additional tones. With increasing research and interest into the power of music to heal, Hildegard of Bingen may once again show information from her visions of living light should be given much greater appreciation. Thank you for supporting us at Medieval to Modern. Please be sure to watch our next episode or one shown at the end of this video. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and spread the word about this channel so we can create more exciting content. I wish you good tidings as we remember that sharing knowledge has been a noble deed throughout the ages.